How is it going, everyone? We've got some big Ghost of Yotei updates to go over in this video. It looks like PlayStation and Sucker Punch are very confident with how this game is going to turn out, given that review copies of the game have already been sent out, and on top of that, the embargo will be lifting quite a bit before the game actually comes out. Generally speaking, when I see something like that, I'm like, alright, these guys are cooking something special, and they're very confident with that, so we'll talk all about that. PlayStation Game Size has noted Ghost of Yotei, the download size is 85.119 gigabytes. Preload will be kicking off on September the 25th, and also Jeff Keighley has noted that he received a copy of Ghost of Yotei, and a lot of other outlets noted that they received copies of Ghost of Yotei. The global review embargo is Thursday, September the 25th. So also do like that they're giving the reviewers ample time to play the game and experience everything in the game. You've got about 3 weeks. Sometimes I'm telling you guys, as somebody that's received copies of games ahead of release, and it always works out differently. Like, the big outlets will get it a little bit earlier, but I've gotten games a couple days prior to them being released, and that's always not ideal. The one review that I did on this channel, Ghostwire Tokyo, man, your boy was doing some long play sessions of those games to do all the content in that game before doing that review. But I always like the publishers treating the reviewers well, because, you know, you want them to do good reviews, but at the end of the day, yes, we all love video games, the reviewers love video games, but guess what? These people also have lives. They have things that they have to take care of. They have kids, they have social lives, and look, I just don't think some people can do the 8 to 10 hour gaming a day, but I really like when it's offered to reviewers and reviewers can play the games at their own pace. Yeah, some people are gonna do 8 to 10 hour play sessions. Other people are gonna do 2 to 3 hours a day, and guess what? If you got 3 weeks and you're playing 2 to 3 hours a day, you should be able to finish this game and then some by the time the 3 weeks are up. You know, if this game is 40 hours long, you're playing 2.5 hours a day over the course of 3 weeks, hey, you're gonna get the game done. You'll have some time to do your review. I always appreciate that because, yes, getting, like, a lot of people are envious of the reviewers getting copies of the games, but it's just a part of the game. You want them to have copies of the games, but you also want them to have the opportunity to do quality reviews and also live a normal life while playing the game and then ultimately reviewing the game. So I just want to get that out there. I do appreciate PlayStation and Sucker Punch doing that. And on top of that, the game review embargo is lifting a week before the game actually comes out. PlayStation has done this before with their major first-party games that they are confident about, and, you know, they didn't do it with, let's say, a game like Lost Soul Aside, which was a second-party game. I mean, review copies of that weren't even sent out, and I think at this point, as much as I do like the game more than other people, you know, it's funny how Ghost of Yotei is handled as far as reviewers go, and then Lost Soul Aside review copies weren't even sent out. Nonetheless, it seems like Sucker Punch and PlayStation are incredibly confident with the game. I know some people are skeptical on it. Look, I was bummed out, and I'm still bummed out that Jin got pushed to the side and he's not the main character in this game. I know some people are like, oh my god, Jin's story was already told. I thought you could have continued Jin's story pretty easily. I thought you could have created an incredibly compelling second part to his story, but Sucker Punch has given me no reason to doubt them. Every game that they've put out is a banger, from the Sly Cooper trilogy into the Infamous games into Ghost of Tsushima. They've put out banger after banger after banger after banger. And yes, while I don't have that level of confidence in Naughty Dog anymore, after Last of Us Part 2 I thought was a narrative disaster, and yo, if you don't put out a game for 7 years and you cancel a game, like, I'm not, that's an L as well. Like, I think Naughty Dog has to earn goodwill back. From my vantage point, Sucker Punch absolutely does not. Like, they have given me no reason to doubt them, and they've put out an incredible game, and I personally think Ghost of Tsushima was one of the best PS4 games ever released, and I think the Metacritic score for that game is insane. It's like an 83, which is a good score, but at the same time, I put Tsushima at the level of the best PlayStation games ever released. You know, I put it at the level of a God of War 2018, of an Uncharted 4. I thought Tsushima was that damn good, and hopefully Yotei will give them an opportunity to potentially crack that 90 on Metacritic. And the Metacritic score is only one thing. I get it that, you know, maybe you shouldn't put too much stock behind it. However, I know the developers and the creators of these games put a lot of weight on themselves to get a high Metacritic score. And the reality is, as much as I talk about Sucker Punch putting out banger after banger, and that is my opinion, look at the Metacritic score across all of their games. I don't know if they've cracked a 90 on Metacritic. Maybe one of the older Sly Coopers did, but Infamous 1, Infamous 2, Infamous Second Son, Ghost of Tsushima, none of those games cracked a 90. And, you know, from my vantage point, I think Tsushima should have cracked a 90. I think Infamous 1 should have cracked a 90. But, again, that's one man's opinion, so we'll see how Yotei ultimately turns out. And Yotei is one of those games where I think that $70 price tag becomes a harder and harder sell across the board as far as what games people will actually spend $70 on. Yotei is one of those games that I think the PlayStation audience is gonna be willing to spend $70 on. Ultimately, we'll see how the game turns out. I get why people are skeptical about certain aspects of the game, but again, you look at Sucker Punch's track record and they've done phenomenal work, and they've given you insight into this game's gameplay pretty regularly, and I always appreciate that. You've got Ghost of Tsushima Legends coming out in 2026 as well, so that's going to add another layer to the game and give you a reason to go back and play the game even more. And even if you don't go back and play Legends, the main campaign is going to give you more than enough to justify your $70. You're probably going to get, you know, 40, 50 hours of content. It will be interesting to see if they do an expansion like the Iki Island expansion for Ghost of Tsushima. They've got Legends cooking. I'm sure they'll port it to PC maybe by the end of 2026 into 2027, and you know, doing some DLC for it, I think, would be pretty cool. Also, I hope with the release of Yotei, it does set PlayStation at least somewhat back on the right trajectory of when they were putting out incredible first-party game after incredible first-party game outside of just spamming live service games or going so hard into the live service game realm. But as I say that, the news just came out that Sony Ben's looking to work on another multiplayer game, so you know, at the very least, hopefully Sucker Punch can stick to doing what they do best, and that's a game like Yotei. Although Yotei, again, is going to have a multiplayer component in Legends, and let's just hope you can get Yotei this year, and then next year you can get a game like Saros, you can get Wolverine, and at the very least, while Sony's probably still going to spam live service game development, and they're gonna try their absolute hardest to get games like Concord and Fair Game, and, you know, they're gonna ice Sony Bend again for another million years for a live service project. At the very least, Sucker Punch is one of those studios that can stick to doing what they do best. But we'll see how all of that turns out. That is going to do it for me. Again, Ghost of Yotei review copies are being sent out. The game will crack in at 85 gigabytes, which honestly isn't the craziest thing in the world given game file sizes these days. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.